With so many choices at your fingertips, it can be really, really difficult to exert your willpower and discipline to do the things that you know you should be doing and not do the things that you know you shouldn't be doing. And the number one thing I see people getting wrong in this realm is that they're using willpower as a primary mode of defense instead of going on the offense. I'm going to share with you guys a way that you can actually use less willpower, become more disciplined, and make it easier on yourself to do the things that you know you should be doing and avoid the things that you shouldn't. So let's go ahead and dive in. Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's Adam, your optimal living coach, where, as you know, on this channel, it is my goal to help you flourish in your energy, work, and love. I got 3 ideas that I want to share with you guys. The first idea is important but finite. So based on all the research that we know about willpower, it is extremely, extremely important when we talk about correlating to long-term success. You guys have probably heard about the Stanford marshmallow experiment, where they brought kids into a room, put a marshmallow down in front of them, and basically said, if you guys can resist and not eat this marshmallow for 10 minutes, we're gonna give you 2 when we come back. Well, they put the kids in the room, and what they found was about 66% of the kids ended up eating the marshmallow. Now, what's interesting is longitudinally, when they studied these kids, they found that the kids that were able to delay gratification and exert their willpower powerfully in that moment actually went on to perform better when it came to things like high school graduation, college, and long-term success. So willpower is extremely, extremely important, and you can build more of it, but it is finite. A lot of the other research done by a guy named Roy Baumeister goes to show that this is a finite resource. He went on to do a research study that involved participants basically sitting in a room where there were radishes and cookies, and they were told not to eat the cookies. And what they found is that the group that needed to actually exert a lot of willpower and not eat the cookies actually gave up sooner when it came to solving a puzzle that was extremely difficult. I think it was like an all-white puzzle. Sounds really, really effed up and, frustrating to just have a blank canvas and try and put that all together. Anyway, they gave up sooner than the participants who had no temptation from cookies and just had radishes in front of them and the control group. So we know that when we are constantly put in taxing situations where our willpower is drawn on, we have less of it later on in the day. Goes to show you why it's really easy to resist cookies at 9 a.m., really difficult to resist Ben and Jerry's at 10 p.m. A lot of our slip-ups come later in the day, and that's because willpower is a finite resource. So it's important to keep in mind that this is not something that we have unlimited amounts to expend. It's finite, and it's super important. It can help you dictate things like long-term success by delaying gratification. So that's the first idea I want to share with you guys. So you might be saying to yourself, Adam, okay, great, we're exerting all this energy in the wrong way. What is the right way to be exerting energy and get more willpower or use less of it? And the answer to that is idea number 2, which is install algorithms. Algorithms are basically if-then statements, right? You set it once and you let that generate, and it creates results for you ongoing. So if the algorithm is basically said every time a white car passes, you honk your horn, and that algorithm, I don't know where I'm coming up with this, let's pretend we're cars for a second, but you honk your horn every single time a white car passes. You set it once, and then you forget it, and you never have to exert energy into that system to make it do the thing that you programmed it to do. Well, what a lot of us are doing are playing defense by basically exerting willpower every single time we come up against a plate of cookies or we come across some ice cream. Instead, we need to be creating algorithms or habits that take our willpower out of the equation by setting firm and fast rules to either do something or not do something. Let me give you an example. It is much easier to do something 100% of the way versus 98% of the way. So if you basically say, well, sometimes I eat cookies, sometimes I don't, every time cookies are placed in front of you, you're basically gonna have to make a willpower decision to say, am I gonna eat those cookies or no? Versus if you just go all in and say, I don't eat cookies, it's not a question of whether you need to exert willpower, because you've installed the algorithm that says, I do not eat cookies, and you no longer need to exert willpower to do it. There's a guy named John Rady, who we did a talk about previously on the book Spark, calls these bright lines. When you have really bright lines, you don't need to exert energy not crossing them or crossing them. So you need to go all in creating algorithms or habits that take willpower out of the equation. Another example of this is I work out every single morning at 6 a.m., right? It's not a question of whether you need to roll out of bed or hit the snooze alarm or what it might be. That is what you do. You've installed the algorithm or habit that takes willpower to the equation, so it's not a question of whether or not you need to, not do the workout. And so this changed my life because once the algorithm is installed, you never have to worry about it again. So what are the algorithms you can install in your life, or the habits that you can install that would take willpower out of the equation and basically just take all the guesswork out and make it super easy for you to say yes or no to? Now, the last idea I want to share with you guys is to go on offense versus defense. We talked a little bit about this in the last idea, but many people wait until the last moment, till they're presented with that situation to basically say yay or nay, right? You're on the defense, constantly fending off, these willpower decisions like, am I going to have that drink of alcohol? Am I going to eat that cookie? Am I going to, get fast food, or am I going to make something at home? Am I going to pick up my phone and scroll social media, right? We let temptation get the best of us, and we're presented, and when we slowly dwindle down that finite resource of willpower, we start saying yes a lot more as we have less of that resource. So the goal here is to go on offense, not defense. The way we go on offense is by blocking out or eliminating the possible triggers or traps that might set us off to have to use willpower and then fall prey to whatever circumstance might have. So I try to think about all the different things that we fall susceptible to when it comes to having our willpower tested. So the different ways that I thought of were like people, social situations, our phones, TV, news, food, things like that. Those are all triggers that we basically have to go on the defense against to make sure, or the offense against, to make sure we're not defending ourselves against these things. For example, if you scroll on your phone all the time and you're constantly plagued by whether or not I should jump on my phone or I shouldn't, or scrolling social media, instead of having that rigmarole, hide your phone. Eliminate the distraction or eliminate the trigger so that you don't have to exert willpower to say yes or no. I do this by hiding my phone. I put my phone on airplane mode. Sometimes if TV is the issue and I'm like sitting at home at night and I'm like, should I watch TV? I feel guilty. I kind of want to do it. I kind of don't. I unplug my TV and I put it in the closet so the temptation's gone, right? Eliminate the news, turn your TV off, turn your phone off. That's some examples. A lot of people say your willpower is bought at the store, right? If you go to the store and you know you got a sweet tooth, don't buy it and bring it in your house. So when you're looking for snacks at 8 o'clock at night, you just have a bunch of radishes and carrots instead of a pint and Ben and Jerry's, which happens to be my favorite. So take the trigger away, or take the temptation away by not even bringing it into the house. People and places are another really big trigger for activities that we may or may not want to do. I found that when I wanted to cut back my drinking, I stopped hanging out at bars, right? Go figure. When I didn't want to do certain activities, I stopped hanging around certain people, so I didn't have to make the decision in the real moment and go on the defense. I went on the offense and said, I'm not going to go here and do certain things during the week. I'm not going to hang out with these people during certain times, so that I didn't even have to make the decision in the moment. And this is super, super crucial. So ask yourself, what are the people, places, things, devices, utilities that you can basically cut off, distract, and eliminate so you can go on offense instead of playing reactively and going on defense? So if you want to reinforce and bolster your willpower in a much more effective way, stop playing defense and go on the offense by essentially eliminating the things that are causing you distress or causing you to use your willpower, and start installing algorithms and habits that reinforce positive benefits instead of being susceptible to the negative ones. So I hope this video helped. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what cool algorithms you guys are installing, and I'll talk to you on the next episode.